friends, welcome to Mimi's Mixed Bag. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, check out my playlist. Definitely a mixed bag of whatever I find interesting to share. Today I'm bringing you a little craft project. I was inspired by something I saw on a blog, and come to find out she has a YouTube channel. I will link it down below because I certainly want to give her credit. But she made some of these very popular metal bells that people are buying and putting on their mantles and their trees and wreaths and things like that. Last year or year before, I lose track, I made some of these little faux jingle bells that were super popular for mantles and trees, and I made them out of Dollar Tree products. These were just clear plastic bowls that I did a distressed finish on, and I tell you, I saved so much money making these myself. Now, I certainly could have gone to Hobby Lobby and bought the bells, but that would have been at least $100, and I was able to get all these bells for probably less than $10. If I get tired of them or want something new, it's no big deal. The bells I'm talking about this year are more of a cylinder type bell. They're not round jingle bells, and I'm gonna put them on the screen here. I know you've probably seen them. Walmart, Hobby Lobby has them for about $10 a strand, but you only get like 3 or 4 small bells for $10. And that's probably the best price you're going to find them for. She made hers out of half of a toilet paper roll and the top part of an Easter egg. But her egg was a little bigger, or her tube was a little smaller, but hers fit in very snug, and she was able to paint it and distress it, and it looked just like those metal bells. It inspired me to look through my cabinets and just see what I could find to make a little bit bigger version. So what I have here is just a plastic vitamin bottle. I took a serrated knife and cut the top and the bottom off, and that's going to be the cylinder part of my bell. And I'm also going to try to make some out of some cereal boxes or cracker boxes, that type of cardboard. So we're going to go to my craft table and turn this trash into some trendy metal bells. Alright, we're here at my craft table. I've got most of my supplies gathered up, and there's not really any weird supplies I'm using. Everything can be easily found at the Dollar Tree or any craft store, and I'm going to try to go step by step, but some steps will be simple enough where I'll just tell you what I did. I've got my plastic vitamin bottle. I cut the top and the bottom off, and that gives me my plastic cylinder. Now, the top of your bell is going to have some kind of dome, some kind of rounded top. I'm using styrofoam balls. I may or may not cut mine in half, but if you can, Dollar Tree has those little split ornaments that you can use, or you may have some little toy ball or whatever you can come up with to make your little dome top. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up my cracker box and make them into cylinders. Alright, I have all my bell parts here, and let me just show you my cardboard cylinders and my vitamin bottle. With my vitamin bottle, I'm going to have to use about 3/4 of a ball, and it just fits in there perfectly snug. Now my paper cylinders are just a hair smaller. I decided to use a half a ball. It will work with them. Now, to kind of disguise that it's a styrofoam ball, I'm going to wrap all my half balls in aluminum foil. I think that will still accept the paint. It'll just give it a little hammered finish. I don't know, we'll see. That is going to be snug enough where I can hot glue it on the top. And then the third piece of the bell is you're going to need a little cardboard ring. Cut out a little piece about a little bigger than my finger, and I'm going to glue that little ring right on top. So these are the 3 parts of the bell: the cylinder, the dome, and the little paper ring on top is going to be the little hanger. If you decide to use the half of the styrofoam balls and your balls are just a little too big for your cylinder, take it and roll it on its side a little bit. It will kind of condense that styrofoam ball, fit right inside your cylinder perfectly. So just keep rolling it a little bit on its side, and that way you can glue it snugly on the top. These bells are metal, and it looks like they're kind of welded together. So we need to do something with this little transition area from the ball to the cylinder. Now with my jingle bells, I just used some kind of cotton rope I had, but I also have a big container of this Dollar Tree tubing. They sell this all the time in all colors. It doesn't matter what color you use. It's that mesh tubing that Dollar Tree always has. Where the seam is that I glued the cylinder together, I'm going to glue this little rope around where the ball meets the cylinder. And I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom of my bell. And it just gives it a little ridge. It just makes it look more authentic. So, but you could use, you know, any kind of rope or twine. Just make sure it's not any kind of fuzzy yarn, because you want it to look like it's a bead of welding. Last year, I used that rope, and I also used this spackling to kind of fill it in to make it look like a real weld. And I'll show you what that looks like. I want to give you a real close-up of what my spackling looks like. It is by no means perfect, but it just makes it look even more authentic. So the spackling's on the top and the bottom, and then right here around the bottom. And now I'm going to spray paint them all black. I just got some cheap black spray paint. It doesn't matter what kind of black, because it's just the base coat. And I'm going to give it all just a kind of a light black coat. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be just one thin coat of black everywhere. Alright, it's been about an hour and the spray paint isn't completely dry, but I think it's dry enough for me to move on. I don't have any gold spray paint, so I just took some gold acrylic paint I had and watered it down just a little bit, and I'm going to use a sponge brush. It's going to dab it all around the bells until I get them covered. When I did my jingle bells, I used one of these little cosmetic sponges. So I may just use that too. So I'm just going to keep sponging until I get all 4 bells done, let them dry, and then I'll see if I need to do anything else to them. And I added a little black to the watered down gold that was in there, and I painted some of the insides. All right, it's the next day. Everything's totally dry. And I think that I need to do a little touch up on some of them. Some of them I can see the aluminum foil. Some of them I can see a little bit of white where the spackle was. I'm going to sponge a little more gold on them, let them dry, tie the jute rope on them, and then show you what they look like. All right, friends, it's been a couple days. I have been so under the weather, and I finally got enough sound in my voice to finish this video. And I want to just give you a couple notes after finishing the project. This one right here is the plastic vitamin bottle, and it did not want to hold the paint as easy as the cardboard tubes. So I would encourage you, if you want to make these, make them out of the cardboard tubes. It takes the paint and does really good. So I won't be making any with plastic anymore. You know, these bells come in all shapes and sizes, and I've seen them with all different size ropes, but since mine are a little smaller, I think I'm going to take my ropes off and find a little smaller jute twine to make mine. I just think they're a little oversized for the size bell, and I'll just save that jute twine for another project. I'm going to definitely make some more of these, because I can make a dozen of these bells for what it cost me for just one little strand of them. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten this tube. I want them to be a little more squatty looking, and that gives them more of the look that I see in the stores. This is fine. I want them just a little bit shorter. And another thing is, I decided not to put the little striker inside the bells. Regardless of how I display them, that little striker thing inside the bell is not even going to show, because I'm making these strictly for looks anyway. So what I was going to do is give you just a little styling idea. This is just one of my dough bowls, and I filled it full of some Christmas greenery. Arrange them in a way on my table to show you what it looks like. And then I'm going to leave you today with a little slideshow, lots of beautiful ways to display these bells if you decide to make you some. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week with something fun to share. Bye-bye.